trophy. Jon Jones says he's still in the testing pool. He gets tested often, and the UFC has to offer him fights contractually. So he's just waiting for the UFC.
That's true, though. He's not wrong there.
Harrington.
If he's under contract, unless they want to release him, right?
I think the link that I put in there is it's him talking to Ring Magazine, and he did say that he is still tested. He's still in the testing pool. He's still active.
Tell me he's not looking for Alex Pereira, because they were talking about that, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it could have been if things had worked out smoother with those negotiations that he's speaking of. I mean, I think we all thought that's what the original White House fight was going to be. Tom was not ready. That wasn't going to happen. It looked like it was going to be Pereira and Jones. And then out of nowhere, we get Cyril Gane and Pereira, which was, I was excited for it. I think a lot of people got excited for that. But definitely early on, when the White House card was waiting to be dropped, we thought this was going to be the big bombshell that was going to come out. And now Pereira losing certainly opens up an opportunity for Jon to slide in there and fight him. It is interesting. I'd still watch it.
Listen, I think everyone, there is a little bit of people were kind of over there. I'm retired. I'm not retired. The whole thing, the saga with Tom Aspinall and Tom chasing that fight. And, some people, I'm not going to say I lost respect, but they were like, come on, man, you're the champ. Just fight the interim champ. But that was a long time ago. But I still think the entirety of the world in mixed martial arts would be very excited if there was an announcement and Jon Jones was one half of that matchup. Simple as that. That fact still remains.
But Jon, he said you changed his life. You're forever his homie, no matter what. When you hear something like that, what does it do for you?
Yeah, and likewise, me and Jon have our, there's the business side and then there's the personal side. But even on the business side, I always respect Jon Jones. Jon Jones knows who he is, and Jon Jones knows what he does, and there's no delusion there. I say, and I'll say again, he's the greatest of all time, and a lot of these fights that he went out and won, he wasn't being very good to himself leading up to those fights. And when you hear the stories come, it's like Michael Jordan, right? Now you start to hear the stories about Michael Jordan. But I love Michael Jordan, just for the record here. So if you didn't know that, Michael Jordan is to me. So you're hearing these stories about where they're playing in the Olympics and they play 18 holes of golf. And the guys are all saying, all right, let's get out of here. And he's like, no, I'm going to play another 18 holes of golf. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right. Plays 18 more holes of golf. Then he shows up and I think Daly was the coach at this time. And they're like, you're going to cover him? He's like, no, I want to cover this guy. He just talk shit in the paper about me, so I'm going to cover this guy, right? And you hear these stories about Michael Jordan now. When the Jon Jones stories start to come out, after he retires and he's gone and whatever, the stuff that this guy was doing and then coming out and beating the shit out of world-class guys who trained hard to try to beat him, Jon Jones is...
He's the baddest man in the world without a weapon.
Jon's a weird cat, man. Not weird for me because he came into Jackson's only watching YouTube videos.
Wow.
No real coaching and all that. And he was dusting up Bonner and people like that. And then shortly after Hall of Famers, his grappling's just okay. His wrestling's pretty good. And his kickboxing is it's just natural, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm getting anything. Rashad used to beat him up in the ring.
For real?
Whatever. Every time I saw it, and but you saw what happened when they fought.
Right.
He just turns a switch on, man. Like I spar with him all the time. And it was just I win some, he wins some, whatever. But when the fight, I think this sounds weird, but I really think he experiences when he gets in the zone. I really think he experiences time different than us. I think everything's moving a little bit slower for him.
It seemed as if everything was done and dusted for Jon Jones as he wrapped up one of the best careers in MMA history, but everything has been turned upside down now. The retired UFC champ has returned to the gym once again after hinting at a potential comeback several months ago, and now all eyes are set on him as his latest training pictures have once again sparked rumors regarding a potential return to the cage. So, what is behind Jones's return to training, and who is waiting for him in the octagon?
He'd be great in that. Lastly, Jon Jones. I know he said his squash was beef, and there's been a little bit of tension, but maybe you guys can clear the air a little bit.
There's never been a beef with me and Jon. You know, we have this weird dynamic, and Jon is the greatest of all time. Jon knows where we stand and what we got going on, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Is there any chance that he fights again?
I don't know. That's up to him. He likes to talk about it, but actually getting a fight booked is a whole nother.
This truly is the good stuff. Like when I talk about Jon Jones, which at some point will be legend. Believe it or not, but there's new people in our sport that don't know what a GSP is. They don't know what a Khabib is, right? I mean, we get new. So when I'm talking about Jon and I'm telling these stories in a later tense, these are the moments. These are the one for me that really stand out and show I give him in some ways more credit for these moments. And that's a big claim, but I feel that way.
Jones was quite open about the fact that his relations with Dana White are not perfect, but he stated that personal issues should not be an obstacle when it comes to doing business. Talking about the period during which he has been cooperating with White for so many years, Jones said that they have both been a great help for each other and that they have both helped each other make millions of dollars. He also pointed out that respect is more important than emotions when there is some great opportunity in front of you. He jokingly said that he will probably not receive an invitation from White's home for Christmas, but he definitely appreciates all the things that Dana White has done for him.
White the homie, how would you describe your relationship with Dana these days? I know you guys have the online back and forths, but behind the scenes, how would you describe the relationship?
You know, I feel like in order to do big business, you can't hold grudges. You know, you gotta be able to let bygones be bygones. You have to be able to work with people that you don't love, you know. And I've made Dana millions of dollars over the years, and he's made me millions of dollars over the years. And so it's not always about how you feel about a person, you know. It's just like, can we still work together? Can we still do business together? And I feel like we're always going to be able to make money together. And so, will I be invited to his house on Christmas? Probably not. You know, but the guy changed my life, and he is a homie for life. And despite how he feels about me, I'm always going to give him that respect.
Jones continued by saying that aging has drastically altered his perspective in terms of how he sees things and how he sees the people around him. He thinks true development is about learning how to acknowledge that one was wrong and apologize accordingly, while also learning from one's mistakes rather than being proud. Reflecting upon his experience, he added that maturity has helped him become more self-aware and also improved his motivation to continue developing as a person. Focusing on future development rather than past rivalries and other things that one cannot change, Jones added that his aim is to continue to grow and make a difference in the world in the process.
And you know, you're almost 40 years old. The maturity, I think, also speaks to that, right? Where it's like you understand the context of these relationships now moving forward and not holding grudges. We saw you have the heart-to-heart with Alex Pereira as well too. So yeah, that also is the evolution of Jon Jones, isn't it?
Absolutely. Being able to say, I'm sorry, hey, I'm wrong, or hey, maybe, hey, I used to be an asshole. Like, you know, whatever it may be, you know, it's about learning, growing, acknowledgement, self-awareness, and just trying to be better. Just trying to leave a positive mark on the universe somehow.
And then, Jones made clear his position on the emerging speculations of a possible matchup against Alexander Usyk. When asked if he would take up the challenge should such an opportunity present itself to him, the retired UFC champion didn't miss in saying that he wouldn't even think about it. The man praised Usyk for being one of the best heavyweight boxers ever and stated the task would be a really tough one. And as for Usyk's background in wrestling, Jones stated that the man had been spending many years learning how to grapple, and that is what makes him so dangerous in close quarters.
Just to talk about yourself, with Zuffa Boxing out there as well, and you being linked to this Alexander Usyk fight that he apparently has Wilder in mind and yourself for his final farewell fight. We know your situation with the UFC. It's been up and down. The contract, you've been wanting to renegotiate, get out of it. But would you be interested in that Alexander Usyk boxing match if it's presented to you?
No, not at all. Usyk is Usyk, man. He's one of the absolute GOATs of boxing, of heavyweight boxing. I also am aware that he does wrestling, and that wrestling has been a heavy part of his training for many years. It's probably why he's so dominant.
Despite all of this, Jones was very clear about not disregarding the option of challenging Usyk. The reason behind this, as he said, was that while he had no interest in a simple boxing fight, he would be glad to accept the challenge should the match involve all aspects of combat. Jones claimed that limiting himself to boxing alone would be fighting, not in his sport. While he believed that Usyk is the only boxer at the heavyweight level who can put up some fight against him, Jones was confident that Usyk isn't a complete fighter.
Clinch. If he'd like to test his total combat skills, I would oblige him in that. But to handicap myself by only using my hands, I mean, that's not the world that I come from. So out of all of the heavyweight boxers, I do see Usyk having the highest potential and making it competitive. But I am no boxer, and I don't really consider Usyk to be a complete fighter. I think the world knows what would happen if we were locked in the same room.
Ultimately, Jones provided an update regarding his current standing within the UFC, noting that it has been quite some time since he has gotten a fight despite being in the testing pool. Rather than focus on his future and what is coming up, he stated that he is focusing on his family, his sponsorships, and working to help Gable Steveson develop. As for whenever the UFC decides to give him a fight, Jones said that he will decide when that time comes. He also made mention of recently having seen Dana White backstage, where the two of them laughed and took a picture together. Apart from fighting, Jones said that his job now is to be a good example and treat fans and other fighters with kindness and respect.
You know, the UFC, as long as I'm in the drug testing pool, the UFC are contractually obligated to offer me a few fights a year. I haven't heard anything from them in a while. But, you know, I just take it as it comes. I take it one day at a time. Right now, my main focus is just being a good dad, being a good family man, staying on top of these endorsements, staying on top of making sure Gable was improving. And that's just where life's at right now, you know. When I get offered to fight, that's going to be great. And we'll see how I feel when that time comes. But yeah, things were great. It was good to see Dana the other day. We laughed. We took a good photo together. Being backstage with all the other UFC fighters is always amazing. The guys are always so respectful to me. I try to inspire those guys by just being so kind and so friendly, you know, to the fans and to the other fighters. You know, I feel like I represent a lot in the sport. And I try to be that example of like, hey, just because we're UFC fighters doesn't mean we have to be hard all the time. You know, smile, shake a hand, make a friend, kiss a baby, you know. And so it's great. I'm learning still. I'm teaching still. And I feel like I'm exactly where I should be.
Those remarks also came to the attention of Michael Bisping, who raised doubts about whether Jones has really retired from fighting. Bisping made references to the fact that Jones still participates in the drug testing program within the UFC organization and argued that this clearly indicates retirement may not last forever. In order to justify his point of view, Bisping gave an example from his own experience, saying that once he retired, he stopped participating in the drug testing program since he realized he would probably accept the fight invitation if he got such an offer.
It was epic, and John was around all of the energy. And when you've had the career that he has, when you've still got it like he has, and he's only 39 years old, regardless of a bit of arthritis in his hips or whatever, there's still money to be earned. There's still a good time to have. There's still audiences to thrill, and he's still got the ability. And according to this interview, he's coming back. Let's have a listen.
When it comes to me actually fighting anyone, I just keep the door open. I'm still in the UFC's drug testing pool. I get drug tested, blood tested all the time. The door is open.
If he's still in the drug testing pool, that's crazy. That means he hasn't officially retired. Because when I retired, right, they asked me to still remain in the drug testing pool. They said, do you want to come out the drug testing pool, Mike? And I said, yes. I said, because I need protecting from myself. Because if I don't get taken out of the testing pool, because when you return, you've got to do at least 6 months clean test before you can return. I know what I'm like. Someone's going to drop out of a fight and get injured, and I'll go, you know what? Put me in. So I said, take me out of the testing pool. So that means he's not actually.
Bisping also argued that age shouldn't stop Jones from making another run. At 39, he believes the former champion still has plenty left in the tank, especially with modern recovery methods helping fighters extend their careers. He added that the heavyweight division is stronger than ever, making a return even more intriguing, while Bisping acknowledged that the long-awaited clash with Tom Aspinall is the fight fans have wanted for years. He pointed out that it isn't realistic at the moment because Aspinall is focused on his developing rivalry with Cyril Gane. With that matchup taking priority, Bisping suggested Jones could still have other meaningful opportunities if he ultimately decides to return. Even with the Aspinall matchup off the table for now, Bisping believes Jon Jones still has a blockbuster option waiting for him. He pointed to a potential showdown with Alex Pereira, arguing that it would be one of the biggest fights the UFC could make. While he admitted Jones should have faced Aspinall when the opportunity was there, Bisping noted that circumstances have changed. With Aspinall now focused on Cyril Gane, he finds himself in a situation similar to the one he was in while chasing Jones. According to Bisping, both Jones and Aspinall are now simply waiting for the UFC to make the next move and present them with the right fight. As speculation over Jones's future continues, Chael Sonnen offered another reminder of why he believes the former champion remains a dangerous matchup for anyone. Recalling a pair of lesser-known grappling stories, Sonnen claimed Jones once accepted an impromptu challenge from a Brazilian jiu-jitsu brown belt at an event and comfortably handled the exchange despite having no warm-up, no coaches in his corner, and barely tapping into his full skill set. Sonnen also pushed back against reports that Jones was taken down during a grappling session in Russia, insisting the viral narrative was completely misleading and that Jones was the one in control throughout the encounter. So, what do you think? With Jon Jones back in training and continuing to hint at another fight, are we getting closer to seeing him return to the octagon? Who would you like to see him face next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more MMA updates, breaking news, exclusive reactions, and fight coverage every week.